hold on, I clicked the button. Let's see. All right, we're live on Facebook. Hey everyone, I'm Amy, but today Nancy's running the show. So Nancy, take it over.
Well, we had some technical difficulties today. Apparently my Facebook account is not up to snuff as I thought it was. And we are photobombed once again from the start.
I know, Captain is ready for tea.
It is. Well, so am I, because the teas I've sent you they're not brewing. I just can smell the aromas from the tea leaves right now, and they are just making me very thirsty. But hello and greetings and season's greetings. I can't believe we're just a few days away now from Thanksgiving,
Right.
which may be looking very different for everybody out there right now, and those who had travel plans or whatever. So I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy. I thought it would be funny if I started this meeting with my mask on, but maybe I'll see.
Oh, I was saying people might think it's Christmas if they look at my screen, but that's just because I am crazy.
Well, I had to wear pink because I got my new fascinator.
I know, I love it. No, you look beautiful in pink, but I was like,
thank you. Thank you. And you with the green, But I told you I got this in Orlando at that chapel.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
when I was down there for
my
niece and my new nephew's wedding, and it was a wonderful event, very successful. I took pictures, I did take pictures of the wedding, but I was not the hired photographer. She did ask me to come in and take pictures pre-wedding and the rehearsal, and I have to say I'm pretty pleased with some of the shots that I did get of them.
Awesome.
They just got back like 3 days ago, they went to Texas for the honeymoon.
How was it?
They both came back with what?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because one of the things was, and this is kind of they chose their honeymoon based on whether or not the governor was Republican or Democrat, because it's mostly the Republican states that are open for travel. So they went to Texas and they had a great time. Austin, San Antonio, places like that. Did a lot of eating outdoors, and it's just one of those things. I have to say I'm a little free and easy about. I definitely wear my mask indoors. I definitely wear them when I'm in the grocery store and stuff like that. But I think, when months and months of this drags on and nobody gets it, and you don't get it, then I think you start getting this false sense of security, and you're immune to it. They're perfectly fine. One of them had, it's just sense of smell is off, and the other one has some congestion. They said it's like having a bad cold, and that's good. So
that's a honeymoon story for you.
Affected and infected by 2020 across the board for their wedding that was originally postponed and whatnot.
So, you're right. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yes. But they're safe and healthy, and that thanks be to God. That's the most important thing. So yeah. Anyway, but so I sent you 3 teas that I'm sort of drumming with an idea of doing something for our local high school PTA, Christmas boxes with teas. And these 3 teas are 3 teas that I'm thinking about packaging for that box.
Cool.
One of them is already one of my favorite teas. Jose gave it to me. And the other 2 I've not tried, and I picked the candy cane chocolate chai for you, because it's a chai, and I know you love chai.
I know. So, yes, thank you.
Well, which one did I tell you first? It's going to be
Autumn. Oh, sorry. Figgy Pudding is first.
Oh, it is first. Okay.
Autumn Haze is 2, and then candy cane chocolate's 3.
Very good.
I haven't figured out what teacup I want to use for which one, though.
Well, I told you, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I got. Put this up.
Oh my gosh.
So I got 5 more teacups. I now have 1900, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90.
That is amazing.
They're beautiful, sweet hubby.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to show you real quick. This is 1970, the year that I was born.
Oh, that's awesome.
A poppy.
Oh, it's a poppy. Oh my gosh.
It's a poppy. And I was drinking tea out of it on Veterans Day, known as Remembrance Day. And,
right. How fitting.
My next blog that comes out actually has a picture of this with it.
Really?
So that's one of them. This is 1990.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm looking over my shoulder. This is 1990.
Wow.
Gorgeous blue.
Yeah.
And this is 1960. Actually totally matches my outfit.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, that one's going. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there are 2 others, and they're all lovely. There isn't anything that Royal Albert doesn't make that isn't lovely. So
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, all right. Have you started brewing? Have you steeped?
Yes, I steeped, or I haven't. Oh, sorry, I haven't steeped. I have my hot water ready. I was gonna open and smell.
Oh, do. Okay, so the first one, I called it Figgy Pudding. It's also known as cherry fig.
Oh gosh,
and
it smells so good.
I know, right?
And I remember you sent this one to me a long time ago when we were just regular tea pen pals.
Yes, right.
We were just tasting them together.
Yes, yes.
So I was happy to get more.
And I was so happy to share. It was so exciting to find somebody who was enthusiastic about tea and about wearing hats and about London, about Britain, about all those things. We said we were going to talk in our accents today, and I think we've both been chickening out. But I've been watching enough. I've been watching little clips of Kate. I didn't realize that Kate really does. She does really snip off her vowels a bit. She's very short to the vowels. A little bit nasal too.
It's amazing. Yeah.
But,
and her mouth, yeah, she barely opens the mouth.
Very, very, very right. Yes, you got to pull back this way. Maybe that would help me with my wrinkles that are coming down this way. Been watching The Crown. I'm watching The Crown, and brilliant. Well done.
Yes.
So
absolutely brilliant.
It is absolutely brilliant. Just lovely. Lovely. Well done them. So I'm going to go ahead and steep.
Okay. Yes.
Figgy pudding. So this is it's actually, I'm going to slip back and forth between my accent and not. It's also called cherry fig. So it's black tea, probably a Ceylon, because that's the one they usually flavor. Figs, certain kind of cherries. I don't think I could say this without it coming out sounding like something anatomical, so I'm not going to try it.
Okay.
And then it's natural flavorings. Yeah, it's okay. I'll tell you, it's spelled ACEROIA or OLA.
Okay.
Let's see. Acerola cherries. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I don't know. Once you said cherry, with that, for some reason that does ring a bell, but I don't know how I know that cherry.
I know Bing cherries. That's all I know. Bing cherries.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Cherries, apparently, but
so
it's one of my favorite teas. And this tea, because I'd gotten it at Christmas, this tea always reminds me of Christmas. And I mean, figgy pudding. We don't do figgy pudding here in the States.
Right.
They do it in England. So I think this is just the most apropos British. Although most Brits would probably go, "I'm just having PG tips that day."
Yeah, I know. It's like so many Brits I talk to. It's like they don't do all the flavors. It's like,
no, they don't.
Okay, but like you could.
Yeah, you're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out.
You know,
so I was gonna say this one smells, because of the figs. When I was smelling it, trying to think what it reminded me of, it's fig Newtons, which I always loved eating. I loved eating those as kids.
I still love it. I still love, and my goat cheese on a cracker with fig spread on it or something like that.
Oh, I've never had fig spread. That sounds a little fancy.
Wait, come to my house. You're deprived. We'll do fancy food. We'll do fancy food.
Oh gosh.
I can see the cherries. It actually comes with like little chunks of cherry and fig in it too. Have you steeped the others, or are you just doing one at a time?
I'm just going to do one at a time so I can smell them, but I guess we can do them all at once.
What? Oh, you know what? I didn't bring sugar. Do you have sugar?
Yep. I got my
I gotta get my sugar.
Okay.
You gotta have sugar. I'm sorry, they didn't.
That's okay. Get your sugar. The Queen and I will just chill out.
Okay, you do that. Talk to Captain.
We're good.
I actually want to make this fun. I've got a series of questions to ask you.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, I know.
Okay, and I still haven't been brave enough to do the British accent fully. So I gotta do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna have radio silence until you do. I won't do that to you.
I'm like, the only thing I can think of is, oh gosh. They say that a million times in the new episodes of The Crown. I was like, wow, they say gosh a lot. Like every character says gosh. Gosh.
I always like crikey. I say that around here. Crikey.
But yeah, but I like that they all, I was like, every character says it. Like, it's not like it's just a one age group that was apparently trendy, or at least script writing wise. That's heavy. And then I was like, oh, a lot of my reactions with words are not as ladylike.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're not off camera, and I think they've done, I think the director and the writer, they did a very splendid job of making sure that they didn't degrade them, if you will, and show them in that light. You know, Prince Philip certainly has his choice of vocabulary on occasion, but I know that that's the truth. So,
right. That's awesome. Yeah, and I like what they're doing, showing. Well, so I was thinking about it. I was like, I wonder. Now, this isn't even saying anything, giving anything away about the season. Just talking about The Crown in general. I was thinking, I was like, what if this is all like Prince Charles is doing so that we'll all be ready when he's king? Because everybody's for years been talking about wanting him, you know, to skip him, and I'm like, I think this is humanizing him, and like people are gonna be ready for it.
True. You know, so I do wonder about that.
I think he's secretly behind all of it.
We'll see how favorably he is viewed and how he comes across, because I'm not into the series yet, so we'll see what happens.
That's true. Yeah, it's like, I guess we haven't gotten to like the point where people turned on him.
Yes, so. Not yet.
Okay, so, I'm smelling.
We sipped.
It's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Best teas ever.
It's seriously. Like a very, I don't know what I say. I'm never good at describing these things. Like a rich flavor, I would say. Like it's, or flavorful maybe. Like it just has, it's delicious, but it's strong when you drink it.
Yes, it is. It's sweet, it's fruity, and I would call it a dessert tea. This is something I would want to do if I really had a sweet tooth.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good point.
Really is delicious. So anybody listening and interested, again, figgy pudding tea, but you can also find it called cherry fig tea.
Okay.
And it is a black tea.
And so I am saving my tea bags this time so I can re-steep.
Oh, very good.
Make a full pot.
So when I was in Orlando, oh my gosh, and I get into my sister's kitchen and we're all gathered there, and it's the night, it was the day after the wedding. And my niece and my nephew were there in the kitchen, and I could not find tea in the house. And I looked, and finally opened the kitchen, or one of the cabinets, and there's English breakfast, of course.
Yeah.
Decaf. Couldn't have been more disappointed. I was like, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I need something to see. And hidden behind something was like this little sample packet. So I pulled it out, and I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, some decent tea. And I thought, you know, she doesn't have lemon, so I'll do milk and sugar with it this time. And I poured the milk in. I took one sip, and I was like, the milk is past expiration.
No.
Oh, no. I had to dump the whole thing.
Oh no.
Yeah. So then going back to you asked me the last time we met about, have I gotten down the stirring yet, the going back and forth. So my niece and my nephew, they're like, I said, you know how to properly stir your tea, right? And they're like, huh? And I'm like, you stir back and forth. You don't clink the glasses, because if you stir it clockwise, it tastes differently. And they were like, really? And I said, no.
Amazing.
I love it. Do you ever, and I know you probably want to get on the next one, but do you ever correct people when they say that they've been to high tea?
I used to. I'd say more, let's see. I'm trying to think. I feel like before it was a business, I probably did. I was just annoying. Once it became a business, there were, well, I wouldn't necessarily tell people they were exactly wrong or correct them. If the opportunity presented itself, like it came up in conversation, I would try to correct them. But then I like just basically gave in with, this is the evolution of the term, of the phrase. Like it's literally, high tea is afternoon tea in modern times. Like it's not, It's not historically, but in modern times, it's like literally that is the evolution. It's like written on London hotel menus as high tea because that's what the tourists know it as.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious.
Oh, stars.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, all right, if they've given up in London, I guess
Give it up here. Well, that was my blog 2 months ago. And I was just like, because I've had people like, oh yeah, we went for high tea. And I said, now, and I tried to ease in politely. I'm like, so it was dinner? Did you have, and like, no, we went like at, 3 in the afternoon. And I'm like, so that's actually typically called afternoon tea. Oh, it's the same thing. Like, no, it's not.
You're like, why don't you ask me what it was in history?
Well, I did a book signing. I told you about 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
And it was men and women together. And there's a man came over and says, oh, we haven't done tea in a while when they lived overseas, whatever, but we did high tea over there. And I said, so was it high tea? I said, so that's dinner time. And he just took his tea and he goes, it's the same thing, honey. And he walked away and said, I'm not going to mess with the military man.
Oh my gosh.
No, not doing it. So I think you also might get photographed. Jacqueline, daughter just finished school. Hello.
We guessed.
She wants to say, who do you want to say hello to?
You say hello.
Who is my friend?
Okay.
Oh, you can show me who it is? Here comes the world's most beautiful flower girl.
Oh.
Let's see. Can you come here? Can you say, who do you say hello to?
Hi, Emily Mitchell.
Jackie, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all done with school?
Yeah.
Yay.
Like my hat?
Yes.
Yes. Do you like her hat?
I
Yeah,
She's
like
it's
her
all
hat.
in Christmas colors.
all feathers. Yeah.
I know. I can
Yeah.
go back. Go play. Thank you. She always knows, she'll say, you're gonna have tea with Amy Mitchell.
Oh my God.
Are you gonna talk with Amy Mitchell? Is that your friend Amy Mitchell?
So cute.
You have become a household name.
I love it.
And unfortunately,
one house.
I'm sure it's more than that. I'm sure it's more than that, but I'm sorry, 1 second.
No, you're fine.
Later, okay? Just a second. We know like 3 different Amy's, so I have to call you
Oh,
Amy.
okay.
I can't just refer to you as. Actually, you're very frequently referred to as Amy in Orlando. I think I just need to change that of Amy of Orlando, Lady Amy.
I love that. Amy of Orlando. Oh shoot. Yeah, I need to put on my Christmas list that I want to become a lady. That's a ladyship over in Scotland. I need to put that on the list.
Yes, I've been trying to sit down and find the time to sit down and write that. I told you I wanted to advertise your boxes, and that was one of them. Monthly tea boxes, the advent calendar. There are a lot of wonderful Christmas gifts out there for tea lovers, and take advantage. But tune into my my blog, people.
Yes.
Follow my blog.
I have it. Yeah, I know. I have it on my list to go out and share.
Very good.
Last
Thank
one.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay, have you tried your next tea?
No, I'm too slow. Okay.
So the next one is called Autumn Haze. And I went for it, obviously, just the name alone. I thought, let's just try that. I wanted to do something autumnal.
So I smell what notes of like caramel? Is that?
That's what I smell.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, yeah, it definitely smells fall and delicious.
It says maple bits. I don't know
Maple
what a
bits. Okay.
bit is, but
That's what I would.
yeah, maybe some dried candied maple syrup or something. Vanilla pieces, hazelnuts, and natural flavors.
Wow, delicious. I haven't had it yet, but it sounds
It
smells delicious.
It smells like it goes with pancakes and waffles.
It does. Have you had this one yet, or will this be your first?
No, I have not.
New one for you. Yeah, I'll have to come up with some like brand new ones for December and surprise us both. Okay.
It does smell good. It's almost a woodsy smell to it.
Yeah, I was thinking it almost smells like like in the fall when you like rake up the leaves. It's like someone put a pile of leaves and syrup on top in a good way.
We just did that the other day. I mean, all the leaves, our backyard is bare. You saw those when we did timers, and yeah, there's nary a leaf out there at this point. So,
Oh man.
but we do have black bears coming up to people's doors. Five houses up. Black
For
bears
what?
come right up to somebody's door. If we haven't
They
seen
just walk-
coping, we will. I think it
Oh
would be.
my gosh.
Yeah. All right.
That's crazy. Yeah, I have a friend down here, and she has her back porch. Owns like we laugh. It's basically like a jungle out there. She backs up to like I guess a ravine type thing, and
Okay.
there's a lot of trees and just stuff all around. But it's like a little jungle, and so she gets black bears, and then like all the little critters and just whatever are just like hang out on her deck. They stop by her deck regularly.
So where does she live? Close to you?
Here in yep. She's like just I don't know, a couple minutes down the road in Altamont.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you, we used to think it was so cool when the deer would come into our yard. There was one time I'm sitting next to windows all of 5 feet away from me, and right outside that window, there was a mother and a baby deer, like within the first few months after we moved here about 7 years ago. And I was so excited, but then we spent quite a bit of money landscaping our whole yard, our lawn, and they'll eat anything. And I can't get my hostas to bloom. I can't get my daylilies to bloom. They snip off everything. So it's been kind of a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah,
like,
so
it's not so cute anymore.
Yeah, yeah. They're pretty to look at, but they don't help your landscape.
No, not. All right, have you sipped?
Okay. I haven't sipped, I've been sniffing. Okay.
And then you can share me a close-up of your bracelet.
Oh yeah. It doesn't have to be a Christmassy bracelet, but I only feel like wearing this kind of jewelry during the holidays. It's like a crazy.
It's a snake, 2 snakes.
Huh? Nope, they're 2 little like jaguar things.
Oh,
like cats.
okay, very cool. That
Yeah,
would
they
be
look more like
jazz.
they look more like cats in person.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, they look like snakes. I swear they're not. I'm a
I
cat
thought
lady.
maybe they were emeralds. Are they black stones? I thought they were emerald stones.
Yeah, so it's like black and white stones, and then their eyes are like emerald. I mean,
Very pretty.
like, yeah,
Very pretty.
yeah, faux emerald.
Your ring is reminiscent of the famous engagement ring.
Oh, weird. I didn't plan that.
Is it black or blue?
Huh? This one? No, it's like one of the replicas you like buy online or whatever. I've been wearing one ever since they got married. This is like probably the 4th or 5th one.
To William.
I know. This is just to show my support of their union.
So what's your opinion of this one?
Okay, so
I'm going to be blunt. I think it's okay.
I feel like the figgy pudding was so sweet and yummy, and this one smelled like it was going to be. It's not as sweet as it smells.
It's not as, like the figgy pudding really packed some flavor, and this one falls
like
short.
this one, yeah, this one's like a very tame tea.
Good way to put it.
But it doesn't taste bad.
It's not awful.
Yeah, it's like it goes. Yeah.
Not,
right.
It smells stronger than it tastes.
Right, right. As my mom would say, it's nothing to write home about. I love using that quote for stuff. As if we write home.
Right home? What is that?
Yeah.
Weekend.
Right. It's nothing to text home about.
That's a good one. Okay, so now I can't remember if I put sugar in this other one yet. I better not oversweet.
You know what's funny? I think I might have not put sugar in it either. That might be part of my problem.
Your maple?
Yeah, the autumn haze one. I don't think I put sugar in it. I think I forgot. So let me do a second tasting.
So you do that. I'm gonna hit you with a question.
Okay, I'm ready.
Because I thought this would be this could lead to some fun stories.
Okay, this made it a lot better when I put my regular sugar in it.
but it still lacks that punch though, doesn't it?
It still, yeah, it does.
It still doesn't taste as strong as it smells.
Right.
Okay. So, what is your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving?
Ooh, my favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving is probably, it gives me an excuse to make my Great Aunt Judy's macaroni and cheese. That's what we call it in the family. It's like baked kind of like a casserole, but that's probably my favorite thing. I mean, I like it when I get to have like some turkey and mashed potatoes with it too. But if I'm going back for more, it's gonna be that.
That's what you go back to.
Yeah. So then I have to ask you, in your region, do you also serve noodles, or is that crazy talk?
I'm not going to be insulting, but no, I've not heard it. We don't usually have pasta. I will say from my family, now my family is very German English, and on both sides of my parents. Right. My husband's side is very half Spanish, Spain Spanish, and half Italian. So there's, I mean, you're going to find some things there. There is the family joke that after the massive Thanksgiving dinner his mother prepares, she'll say, "Oh, hold on, I still have the lasagna to come out." And so for me, noodles or pasta would be unusual, but I know it isn't for some other families or those who, have their own traditions that they bring to the table.
Well, so these noodles are not Italian noodles. They are, think of like if you were to get like chicken and dumplings or whatever somewhere.
Okay.
It's essentially like that. It's just like noodle. It's just like the thick noodles, I don't know, made out of, like my mom makes them from scratch. I don't know. She rolls them out on the table and it looks like she's making pie crust. I don't know. I don't know what they are. And then cuts them into strips and cooks them in a pot. Yeah. And then we put noodles that like have, the broth or whatever with it over the mashed potatoes. And I didn't come from a big gravy family, actually. So I like gravy now, but like that was never really an option. So you do the noodles on everything. But a lot of people are like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you have noodles and potatoes? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well,
at least in Indiana. Yeah.
But to me, that's the same question as between stuffing and potatoes. Either way, but we are a generation that's grown up on counting carbs. So us, we're thinking you're either going to do the stuffing or you do the if you don't do both.
Right.
And I didn't grow up loving stuffing, but I love it now. The stuffing and the turkey and the gravy all put together. You can take everything else and shove it aside.
So which one's your favorite? You can pick one.
As long as I can still do the gravy with it, it's the stuffing. It's my mom's stuffing. And it's a very basic stuffing, but it is very good. And I have to tell you, you said you didn't grow up on gravy. Boy, did I ever. But, Midwestern. And it's funny that, because my family comes from the Chicago area.
Right.
And now we're finding out also the Minnesota area and stuff like that. But my father, one of the things that he said, one of the reasons I married your mother was because she makes such good gravy.
That's amazing.
So when there was meat, there was gravy.
Okay. See, that sounds
did not
great.
do well for my thighs growing up. I'm just saying.
That sounds really good, though.
I love it.
Okay, so when I opened the candy cane bag, it first made me think of walking into a candy shop.
Yes.
And then I realized it could be any candy shop, but more specifically, my grandparents used to own a candy kitchen, like a candy shop in Martinsville, Indiana. A cute little, like it was just their store and they made everything. And that was my grandpa, so my mom's dad. He made the candy canes, like handmade them, and was taught by the previous candy guy. And like it's super hard work and nobody's ever done it since, like they sold the store to other people, they just buy them. But I don't know, we have old VHSs of him doing it. Have you ever seen anyone do it? Do you know how it looks in the beginning?
No, I don't. I mean, I've seen like toffee making and caramel candies, but no, I don't know. I can't see it.
So it might be, so I'm not sure. So basically, obviously you put everything in the pot and it's boiled, whatever. And then you put it on the slab, like the marble slab, I guess, because it cools it faster.
Okay.
And then when it's, just so that it's not hot to the touch, but it's supposed to be warm. And then there's a giant hook that hangs off the wall, and you hook it you like throw this giant thing. I mean, it's like, probably like this thick or whatever. And it's like throwing a giant stick. You're like hooking it around and twisting and like hooking it. Like, I guess that's the way you kind of mix it or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
And they put like the red lines on there. That's like a separate piece.
Okay.
And mix it in and twist it. And then, and then you'd like see my grandma like cut it, chop them off and put in little hooks and handmade.
That's so neat. I feel like you're almost giving me a visual with your shirt today.
I know, just picture me getting thrown against the wall.
Thrown up on a hook and twisted around.
And then twisted around.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, so that was just
you got a flashback by smelling the tea.
A flashback, it was like a proud family moment. We all love that they had the candy kitchen and that he made his own candy canes.
Very cool. Well, this is what this came in too. This is really cute. And you can see this, and all the teeth. I can do it this way.
So did you just run across that one?
Yeah. No.
Like in a store?
It's on one of the shops that I go to. That there's one place I go to that has very tried and true black teas. Your English breakfast, your Ceylon, that golden monkey that I keep coming back to, things like that. But then the second one is where you're gonna find my figgy pudding and the candy cane and the gingerbread and things like that. They're they'll do seasonal favorites. So
okay. It's really good. I like it.
You're the chai person.
Yeah, the chai is good, and I like the strong peppermint aftertaste. Like strong, but not too strong.
Not too strong. If you didn't, I don't know if you got to see it. They're actual. It's like they crushed up peppermint.
Yeah, I saw. Well, you sent me a picture of it.
Yes, that's right.
I couldn't see them obviously in my tea bag, but you showed me ahead of time, and that was. It looked like someone smashed up a candy cane.
Yes. And little black tea leaves, and then tiny little the miniature chocolate chips that are in there too. So I definitely get some chocolate. The peppermint, for me, it ends very strong on the
peppermint. This one's
too
really
strong.
good.
I get that peppermint at the end.
I'd say this would be a good one if you are in the mood for like a cozy hot chocolate, but like you don't really want to drink hot chocolate. I feel like this would actually replace it because I am a hot chocolate person, but then I feel like I drink it and I'm just like, oh, I don't always feel great after.
Right? But, I feel like it's so heavy. That's how I feel. That's one of the things that threw me to drinking tea actually, because I was like living up north, I would get cold and I'm like, I cannot be drinking hot chocolate all day long. It was my one-time treat. Otherwise, I just sit under a heating blanket all day long.
Right.
This is good. But again, this is not really something I would do for breakfast to wake me up. This is something I would do as a treat in the afternoon. I've got my sweet tooth or as a dessert tea or, you got a party. Not that we'll be doing that this year, but when you do have Christmas parties or caroling parties, this would be real. This would be a real treat to put out for everybody, I think.
So you're talking about parties. So it made me think of, I listen to a million podcasts and I listened to one that's a really funny dating podcast, but they were talking, I was listening to an episode that was back like before Halloween. And they were talking about people who are still going to get together for parties, like small parties. And they were calling them like prohibition style parties because it's like, it's like COVID now. You're not supposed to.
Right.
And like a speakeasy. Yeah.
Speakeasies, yeah.
So I just thought it was funny to point out that it's like that now, like secretive having gatherings if you're not supposed to. I mean, it's for a different reason. And then they'd be like, we're not endorsing it. We're just saying it's a thing we've heard about. Like, we're not telling you to go do it.
Exactly. Yes. Because it's such a late game changer. Oh, so today was supposed to be phase 5 in Fairfax County for bringing students back. Jackie was actually offered the opportunity to start back today. And in a long conversation with her principal, there are too many moving parts. It's like, well, she has this teacher, but she would lose this teacher. So we'd have to start again with this person over here. And we can do that. But I'm like, you know what? It's not great, but for what they've been able to do for Jackie virtually, been really amazing. She has made so much progress, but she does a lot of one-on-one and a lot of 2-on-1. So she's getting individual attention that she needs as a special needs child. And I'm like, I don't want to upset the apple cart at the moment when this is going so well, or have to start with a new teacher. But can I tell you, yesterday at 3:00, the memo came out and said, no.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine the parents?
All the people that thought
suddenly had to get childcare or go back to what they've been doing.
And they decided this yesterday, or they announced it yesterday?
Well, there was the memo that came out last week that said, we're keeping an eye on things. And then there was the memo that came out and said, in light of the current, social situation. And then we got the notification from the actual principal saying, we're just finding out ourselves and we're sorry, but in order to stay within the guidelines and for the sake of everybody's health.
Right.
So, I just don't see this even happening. Right now the target date for Jackie is even January 26th, and I just don't see it. That's the start of flu season.
I feel like that's, and I feel like that's, I mean, considering holiday breaks and everything, like that'll be here pretty fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think there will still be some people moving around for the holidays, so we'll see what that stirs up.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't grow up going to extended family for Christmas. We were a family of 7, a large family. I had my 2 older sisters and 2 younger brothers, and we were in Southern Georgia. My father's family was in Chicago, and my mother's family was in Kentucky.
Okay.
And we were not traveling. We had each other, and there was enough of us at the table to make a lot of noise, and we shared each other's Christmas toys, and we did a lot together. So it was great. And so that's kind of what I'm used to. Whereas my husband's family would celebrate on Christmas Eve, doing a party. They'd be up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. They'd do their Christmas presents. Santa Claus always showed up right after midnight.
Oh, wow.
That's when they open their presents. So it's a very different way of doing things. So when we are able to hunker down and not able to travel, like when we were in California, it was fine with me. I like the quiet Christmas. I like that we could stay in our jammies all day long.
Right.
And the boys built their new Legos, and I was cooking a turkey dinner, and to me it was just cozy. It was nice. Yeah. So, but everybody has their own traditions.
I didn't come from a big family. I mean, in the house growing up, it was just me and my brother as far as kids go. But I grew up not realizing that extended families did things on the actual holiday, like on actual Christmas or Christmas Eve, because in my family, aunts, uncles, everybody, we got together usually like the following Saturday or something. It would just be like a weekend day, and it wasn't, then everyone could have their day at home, and we stayed in our pajamas all day. You might shower and get into new pajamas for Christmas lunch. and then you just like play with your toys, take naps, watch A Christmas Story on loop.
Love that show. Love that.
So, so I like that, but it always, I guess, because everyone's different, and if you're used to it, it's fine. You probably like it. But for me, I was always sad for the kids who like open all their stuff. It's like, cool. And now it's like, all right, hurry up, go get dressed nice. We're heading over to grandma's house, and you're not going to see this stuff until probably tomorrow.
So my sister Tanya, the one who just married off her daughter, that sounds so antiquated, but that was the mother of the bride.
The one who just arranged her daughter's marriage.
I'm doing that for my daughter.
It's hilarious.
They do Christmas in Orlando or in Oviedo, wrap everything up, snarf down the fastest lunch while they're loading up the car. I think I just flung tea in my computer. So much for classy. And they get in the car and they drive 2 hours north to Jacksonville to celebrate the rest of Christmas Day with my mom and dad. And that used to include also my other sister who lives in Oviedo. She'd bring up her kids, and then my brother with his son, they live in Jacksonville. And, we would try to do, it was a Skype call, or we would try to do, and we'd be in California or living up here, and I'd be like, we'd hang up the phone and I'd be like, that was so unsatisfactory. That just, it to try to talk to everybody, to try to talk to a room full of 20 people, most of them children. And the fact that we were just home and there was no rush, man,
Right.
I've not regretted that.
Yes.
Not regretted that. So, and God bless Tanya and Donna who did that to be with my parents so that my parents' Christmases weren't suddenly, oh, the children are gone and we don't have anything here, to make sure that there was something for them. But the hustle and bustle. And my mom always said that. She said, we understand. She said, you're the ones who have the tradition. You need to make your own traditions now. You're the ones with the younger kids. So, and I appreciate that.
Right.
So,
that's true. Yeah, my mom's probably gonna get mad I'm not remembering it quite correctly, but I feel like she got that from her mom, where it was like Christmas Day is the day to be just at home, like spend at home and just like be just your little family together.
I
like chill.
I agree with that, but that was my tradition. That was my
right. Yeah, it was like we both happen to have similar similar traditions.
But but trying to blend a family, like with my husband, I mean that's a different. Those were different expectations, and there was some of the butting of the head a little bit, or that I would have to concede. If we did, there were a couple of Christmases when the boys were much younger that that we went up, and I was just like, okay, this is different, but I have to remember, he has his Christmas feelings and his memories and how he
right.
So, you have to find that middle ground.
Yes, when I was married, I had to do that too, but that was where my family's traditions came in handy, because we don't even meet, like the extended family doesn't even meet on Thanksgiving Day. We still meet the following Saturday. So I could go to my ex's family, they're out in Kansas, so we could go and be out there for like day of things. And then we'd be back in time for whatever the Saturday festivities were with my family, and no one was like put out from it. They didn't have to work around us. Yeah. So I say, so he got lucky.
Yeah.
He had an easy schedule to blend with.
Well, I try to picture how am I going to be as the mother-in-law. I do, because my sister-in-law has a mother-in-law who says, I always get Thanksgiving. Well, that's not a fair expectation for anybody.
Yeah.
Then my oldest sister's mother-in-law said, you all do your Thanksgiving, I get Saturday. And they go over and they have, her mother-in-law is of French background. So they have ragu, which is like a meat sauce,
Okay. Yeah.
So they, on Saturday, the whole Amrine family gets together and that's when they get to see each other, which is great.
Wow.
So I'm like, I wonder what kind of mother-in-law I'm going to be. We'll see. I don't know yet.
Yeah, you don't have any inkling yet of what you're gonna.
I do, and I think I need to halt right now and start, being more accommodating.
I love it. You're gonna be the queen.
It's so funny. Jackie asked me the other day, we took a walk. It was a lovely day. It was so lovely outside. We took this lovely walk around the lake and the loch, if I'm going to go Scottish. And Jackie says, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be the Queen of England.
I love it.
Oh, you haven't met Jose, but the look that I got.
Oh no, the look
from that man. I'm just kidding. Mm-hmm. As if that were real.
That's hilarious. That's really funny.
So here's another one of my questions. Have you ever cooked a turkey?
Yes. And?
Well,
okay. So yes, sort of. When my husband and I moved to Orlando, it was gonna be our first year doing Thanksgiving, and let's see, his parents were coming, I forget. Anyway, we had a set of hands. I know his mom was at least there because she's like the turkey expert. But so essentially, we learned, I think we figured it out maybe maybe a week before. So when we bought our house, it was foreclosure, and it wasn't like that bad, but people took weird stuff when like in the foreclosure.
Yes, that's what happens.
So we had one oven rack, not two.
Oh no.
So I honestly can't remember now if we even had it on Thanksgiving Day or if it was like we noticed it and then did it after. But regardless, a turkey was cooked in my oven. And I may have done like a couple like assisting things, but I don't do well with it's a weird thing. I figured out when I was trying to cook a chicken in a crock pot before. I don't do well with raw poultry because it's like a little body. I can't handle the little like arms.
You don't like to clean out the cavity of a turkey then?
Yeah, I don't want to clean it out, but I don't even want to like feel like it's like a little body.
You should give it a massage.
Yeah. So the turkey, so I wasn't made to do the turkey, but what I was gonna say, so my ex, so he is very organized and loves Excel. Well, organized in a whatever, we'll say like logistics and stuff. So we had written out everything that was going to be cooked, and he knew how long things would be cooked and what time we needed. He had a spreadsheet for what goes in the oven at what time and what comes out. Like, it was perfect.
Really?
we couldn't have done it without that.
Wow.
But you had to follow the schedule. It was amazing.
That is funny.
Yeah.
You do, especially if you have one oven. So that's what we're talking about right now is we are getting together with my husband's family, knock on wood, things don't change.
Right.
And in a rented cabin in the Poconos.
Mm-hmm.
And we one oven. And I will tell you right now, I'm blessed I have 2 ovens right now. So I can, I can do the whole turkey. I can do all that here. So we're also celebrating his parents' 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
A couple weeks ago. So we said, let's split the dinner up. So I'm doing the turkey with the stuffing and the gravy. Mm-hmm. And I have no idea what this oven, how big this is. And so the first time I cooked, because when Jose served in Jacksonville in the Navy, we just went to my mom's house. I mean, we were all right there. The first couple times we lived up here in Virginia, we went to his parents' house. They were 5 hours away, so we would go up for Thanksgiving there. So before Jackie was born, I just had the 2 boys. I said, I'm doing the turkey. You all come here. And this is the first time I was hosting Thanksgiving on my own.
Right.
It was in Alexandria, Virginia. So there were 2 ovens, but one of them was an old oven. So even though the oven was like this, it was one of those old insulated. So the actual cavity in the oven was like enough for a casserole, and that was it. So the day before, I had toasted almonds for something, maybe it was a dessert or whatever. And there had been an oven fire. And I thought I had just overcooked the even though they weren't burned, I didn't realize, I don't know what had happened. So the next day, here's everybody at my house. I'm, because, I'm like, it's the first time I cooked turkey and I got to make it good. It's got to be good. I got to impress everybody. And we put the bird in, and I thought I had the bird upside down. I thought because they say cook it upside down so the juices go into the breast and then you flip it over. And so I had it the wrong way for starters. And it turns out that the oven was broken. One of the burners, if you look in the oven, it has the 2 things that heat up. That was the oven fire. It had burned out. So I'm trying to cook a turkey, and it ended up taking 2 hours longer than it was supposed to. And on top of that, and don't get me wrong, I love my mother-in-law, and she is an amazing cook, amazing. And but I was really just tense and
I'm sure
out that day. And she kept coming in and saying, "Don't you want to flip the bird over? Don't you want to flip the bird over?" And I swear to God, I came just going, I want to flip the bird, all right.
That's what I was gonna say.
You ask me again, I am gonna flip the bird.
Hilarious.
I would never say to her. It's always a private joke.
Oh my God.
But I was getting that frustrated and that mad. And then we pull it out, and I was like, wait a second, this bird's upside down. And his mom goes, that's what I've been trying to tell you.
It's hilarious. So what, was it like on its back? Like you had it with like its legs sticking up.
Yeah, I just wasn't, I don't know. I was picturing, I don't know how I was picturing that the wings were supposed to be when the thing is alive. Where are those wings pointed?
Yeah, that's, well, I was just thinking that maybe it's like, well, you know how it's supposed to look at the end, right? So that would be right side up. So like,
yeah,
the other way would be upside down.
I think my head was so muddled that day with stress and
I'm
trying to
sure.
make everything perfect for everybody and trying to impress, you know, it was his parents and his sister, his brother, sister-in-law, aunt and uncle. I know, it just was like, I was like, I got to get this right. And, and my mom was 1-800-Butterball. Mom, this isn't working. Why isn't turning it brown yet?
That's hilarious. Yeah, I can't recall. So also so I had Piper on the 21st of November, and that year that she was born, let's see, was she born like maybe a day or two before Thanksgiving? Basically, we're still in the hospital for actual Thanksgiving, but both sets of our parents came down for the birth or like shortly thereafter. So they were all at our house and they were really nice. I mean, we had planned it, but basically the 4 grandparents made Thanksgiving dinner at our house so that when we came home with Piper, like we had a Thanksgiving, you know, a belated Thanksgiving that night. And so that was really nice.
Oh,
so
nice.
We have some of our first pictures with Piper at the Thanksgiving table.
Oh, that's nice.
That of course looks like a Christmas table because I had already put Christmas up.
Oh, yes. Should we talk about this?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Thanksgiving. What's Thanksgiving? I don't know what that is.
The only time I've done that was last year because that was what I had considered, that was my launch party. I was having a Christmas tea and inviting my neighbors to see, is this really, can I handle this? Is this really what I want to do? And yeah, so I told my husband, I said, I know it's not what you like to do, but I want the Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving. I need to have that ready to go.
Right.
So yeah,
So you got it.
Yeah, but my mom, oh my gosh, a woman, now she's just trying to give everything away, but there wasn't anything that wasn't green and red in the house.
Really?
She, around the border of her kitchen, she would have these little baskets and those would all have to come down. I swear they were at least 12. And then she would buy, you know, the little church craft shows and something like that. She would, those all had to be replaced. The shelves in the around the past, those all came down and she put all Christmas stuff up. So it's a massive ordeal. And I just kept joking. I'm like, Dad, just build her a Christmas house out in the backyard and she can just move into it for 1 month every year. And then she can just come back in. It is a big undertaking. And I find sometimes that I'm like, yeah, do I really want to put that up? Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? A lot of big ideas going on in my head, but execution is not always, there's just not always time for it. So.
Right. Well, I focus on the tree, and then I do have a Christmas village, like a little mini one. And I let Piper play with them.
and happy belated birthday to her, by the way.
Oh, actually, no, happy early birthday.
She'll be early birthday.
Yeah, so she's gonna be with her dad on Saturday, which is her actual birthday, and then she'll come to me early Sunday and then celebrate with me and my parents. So
very good.
Yeah, so that's why I took her on a little early birthday shopping spree last night at Ron John.
Okay. Such a great picture you got. That was such a good picture.
You. So she was only smiling like that because she was laughing because she was trying to avoid the camera. So she was looking away and I would hold the camera and she'd like turn the other way and she was cracking up and then I tricked her and like did a double back. Got it. But with my Christmas decorating, so I feel like there's enough that like, it takes some time, but I don't go all out. So my best friend growing up, or one of my best friends like in school, her family, so there were 5 kids and they had a thing where, I don't know where this tradition developed, but essentially each kid had like a Christmas thing that was like their thing. So like my friend, it was gingerbread men. So everybody gave her gingerbread men crap. So she had all these gingerbread men. Someone else was Santa Claus. Someone else was angels. They each had their own room to decorate within the house because they had so much crap. So like,
oh my gosh.
So like my friend was like the piano and like small kind of dining room thing. Like all the gingerbread went up there. and their family would even swap out, or actually maybe this might be Kyle's family. Anyway, I know at least one of the families I know takes out their normal daily dishes and puts Christmas dishes in the cabinet, and they use Christmas dishes all season.
Welcome, my mother. Yes.
I feel like I would love to do, and I even have the Christmas dishes, and every year I totally forget to get them out into the rotation. So yeah, I suppose I should just get them out when I decorate for everything else, but yeah.
It becomes another thing on the task list. It becomes another thing on the task list.
If it's not fun, yeah. And I have always been a Christmas nut. So my mom used to laugh at me because I guess me and my best friends that were neighbors, in the summertime we would play Christmas. I had like a mini Christmas tree that I kept out year round, and we'd like put it on there, and we'd dress up in whatever like red nightgowns we have and dance around to Christmas music. So
that's fun.
Somewhere along the lines, I became just a nut. My mom's not like that. I mean,
she's
like,
not
fine.
interested.
No,
ask. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Just the tree and like whatever. I mean, Christmas is Christmas. She's not a Scrooge, but not a crazy.
Right. Oh gosh, no. And I have the addiction to red, white, and green too. And I'll do that when we go into shops or if we go places. It was everything I could do when we were walking around Disney Springs a couple weeks ago. We were sitting right there eating some ice cream, and I'm sitting there staring at that Christmas shop, and I'm like, I'm not going in.
The Christmas shop.
Yes. I would do that. I try to get a souvenir when we go places, so that's something that I would have, done if we were actually going to Disney World or something.
Right.
Hopefully one day soon. We'd really, really love to go back again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
But yeah, so my mom is the Christmas freak, and I got the dishes. So I did. My sister was coming up for Thanksgiving last year, and I talked to my mom. I said, I know you don't use them anymore. And she said, no, I don't. Do you want them? I said, absolutely, before my other two sisters try to grab them. And so when my sister was driving up from Orlando, she stopped in Jacksonville, staying out with my mom, and she picked up that and a few other tea things that I've now inherited. And
awesome.
And it came with the teapot and the creamer and the sugar, the salt and pepper, 12 cups, 12 saucers, 12 plates, dinner plates. I mean, I'm talking the whole set.
Yeah,
so I was very fortunate. And
that's all Christmas stuff?
All Christmas.
Wow.
They're lovely. I just took pictures last week of, to try to get ready for some Christmas shots and stuff like that. Like you said, be the change you want to see. So I'm making my own photos. And so where was I going with that? See, I'm telling you, Amy, you turned 50 and you totally blank.
Yeah, that's okay. We were talking
about Christmas. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I took the pictures and I pulled out one of the I pulled out one of the teacups for it and the teapot. So so I've got those. And the question is though, so right behind me, this is my china cabinet, and right under here is a place setting for 12 of my Noritake Shandon that never sees the light of day. So it's like at Christmas, my husband's like, we should use the china. I'm like, yeah, but now I got the Christmas dishes.
Right.
So same thing, all these lovely collectibles that you see back here, and this that his mother gave me, his mom, and of course all of my teacups.
Awesome.
None of which I would part with at the moment, ever. And you don't see right now, but there are 24 teacups and saucers sitting to the side here because I've got a new organizer to be able to take them to parties and whatnot.
Oh, right.
So anyway, well, I know we have spent our hour, and I don't want to keep you much longer or our audience. Do we have any hello?
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
Did we skip somewhere? You didn't talk. You didn't even try.
Okay, hold on.
I know, when you're put on the spot, it's very.
I know, real quick. I was gonna say the candy cane is clearly the winner for me because this is the third cup I'm making of it.
Is that right?
I'm making secret cups of tea and drinking them as we talk.
I'm gonna go with Figgy Pudding. I'm gonna stick with Figgy Pudding. I love that tea. I do. And I'm not somebody who likes mint or peppermint in my tea to begin with. Usually, I do like this as a very good blend, but I'll go the Figgy Pudding. I'll take.
Yeah, I'm not a big, I guess, regular mint tea person, but if Yeah, if it's candy canes and chocolate, I'll take
Why
it.
not? It's festive. It's sweet.
Right.
You had me at chocolate.
So I was gonna say for speaking British, so you're talking about Kate and how she speaks. So I feel like part of the problem with watching The Crown and picking up any of that stuff is they all talk with like they barely move their mouth.
Really move their mouths. I know. It's like there's a muscle deficiency in the very back of their jaw or something. I don't know. And it forces the air to come through the nose, so it's a little bit little nasal.
Yes, you're much better at it. Well, and I told you so. I used to always read in a British accent this certain book to Piper.
Yes.
And then I started watching YouTube videos on like how to, essentially they were teaching you how to get a British accent like for actors or whatever. Like if you're an American actor that wants to try out for a British part. And now I've like overthink too much of it. So like, cause it teaches you like reading words on the screen. And so then it's like, well, if I'm just freestyling, how do I know what word I'm about to say?
Well, I'll do that. I'll read like you said, I read the Peppa Pig, but I always like George. I have a really difficult time saying George. There's something with that R that I just can't get my lips around. George.
Yes. Yeah, because there is, so the book that I read, it's a Day with Wilbur Robinson. So there's 2 R's. And the whole time they're looking for grandfather's false teeth. and grandfather. But yeah, there's a lot of R's, and yeah, after I do it for a while, I'm like, am I even saying like
the same effect as when you keep saying a word over and over and over again, and suddenly it's like, is that even the word I was saying?
Right, yeah. And I'm like, is Piper listening? Like she never notices that I read them differently than I speak. So I'm wondering someday she'll notice.
My son came down for lunch, and I'm like, oh, hello, old thing. And he looked at me funny, and I said, well, I've gone to tea this afternoon, and we said we were going to talk with our accents, so I have to start practicing now. I know you think I sound like a bloody ass, but and he just looked at me, he goes, yeah.
You're
I'm like,
so good,
watch it, I'm still your mother.
Yeah, I know. So you're so good because you flow with like the adding in their vocabulary. I feel like my specialty is writing and spelling everything a British way. That's no matter what I'm writing for or who I'm writing to, and they may not know there's a British thing going on with me. I'm like, well, that Z is an S, and there's a U in everything.
That's right. There's a U in color and favorite.
Yeah.
And mum. I don't do mum very often. Mummy pig, mummy. But my children, they will never call me mummy, ever.
Mummy.
That will never be done.
That was originally my goal was, when before Piper was even born, I was saying that I would try to teach her to either call me mummy or mama. And then it just, when there's only one person telling her to do it, and I forget most of the time, like it's not going to stick because everybody else, then she goes to daycare and like, oh, is that mommy? No one's reinforcing.
Only gumdrops. It's not fair.
But I love the when on Downton Abbey when they'd say mama. So I wanted, if it wasn't going to be mummy, I wanted to be mama.
Yes, I do like that. There used to be the German term that a lot of the aristocracy used to use. If you go back and watch the Upstairs Downstairs, they would call them Mater and Pater.
Oh, really?
Yes, Mater and Pater. Yeah.
That just sounds really funny.
I know. I'll take mommy or mama any day.
Right.
For sure. So,
absolutely.
All right, girly girl.
Okay. Well, this is super fun. So we said what our favorite. Okay, so my winner was the candy cane.
Yes.
Chai, and yours was the figgy pudding.
Figgy pudding.
Okay.
Just gonna stay figgy pudding, absolutely. And that mix, the autumn haze, the mapley one, kind of just a downer. It wasn't. It wasn't as potent as it smelled. So
right, yeah, it definitely
not
wasn't.
that I want to drink maple syrup, and I just want to say that. I didn't want a mouthful of maple syrup flavor, but Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite there. Now we said what? We're meeting again for those who.
Yeah.
Are
Oh,
listening
right.
to
Good point. We're
podcast.
meeting again. We said December.
Looking.
Sorry, my
looking.
mom.
I
I'm
have
gonna
the
call my
15th.
mom out. My mom sent me a text that says, "Do I have a Facebook password?" Because I set her up. It's like, you do, but you probably don't know it. Mom, I'll get right to you.
Exactly.
I do call my mom Mumsy, and I write all of her cards Mumsy.
That's. I used to call my parents moms and pops, but I got that from an old Elizabeth Taylor Spencer
really?
Tracy movie. Yeah,
That's
not
funny.
Father's Little Dividend, but Father of the Bride, and she
Oh.
would call them moms and pops, and I
that's funny.
loved that. So
That's funny. So we
Yeah.
have December 15th,
that's what I've got.
Tuesday, December 15th, 3
Yes.
p.m. Yes.
3 p.m.
And the T's are a mystery at this point. I have to figure them out.
Why is it every time I'm on the bloody television, somebody's ringing my doorbell?
on the telly.
I'm on the telly. That's right. No, apparently it's a package. I don't know what it was. Hopefully it's for me.
Yeah,
You know,
hopefully.
Get it.
Yes.
Anyway.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
Okay.
listen,
So I guess I'm in charge. Yeah, I'm in charge of ending it, I suppose. But I'll add in the notes the teas we drank and stuff, and then yeah, you're tagged in it, but make sure you share it, and I'll I'll email you the recording too, so you can post it like originally if you want.
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for taking over, and sorry for the technical difficulties.
That's
not
okay.
quite up on what I should be.
That's all right. We'll figure it out at some point.
Very good. And if you have time, stay on afterwards. I got a couple questions for you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Good thing you said that. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so let's say goodbye to Facebook and the world.
Cheers.
Bye. Here,
Bye.
do a little queen. Okay.